Welcome back once again, my dear students. Today we will continue with the concept of pleiotropy. You know that pleiotropy is a phenomenon whereby a single gene controls multiple phenotypic traits. It controls trait A, trait B, and trait C. Okay. So how does this happen? Actually, the protein product that this gene produces, it is involved in a number of metabolic pathways. It moves through a number of organ systems, and that is why it affects multiple phenotypic traits. Okay, and the gene which is involved in this uh, control of multiple phenotypic traits, that gene is known as pleiotropy gene. You all know that. Okay, today we are going to discuss pleiotropy furthermore with the help of the example, and the example is sickle cell disease or sickle cell anemia. Actually what happens is we have RBCs, and in those RBCs we have the protein which is known as hemoglobin. Okay, हीमोग्लोबिन की एक चेन होती है जिसको हम बोलते हैं बीटा चेन. ओके, and in that beta chain here we have glutamic acid. In normal protein we have glutamic acid, but in some individuals it has been found that this glutamic acid it is being replaced by abnormal amino acid valine. Okay, and because of the replacement of glutamic acid by valine, the protein that forms, that is not normal. Okay, it is an abnormal protein which is known as sickle cell anemia hemoglobin beta chain. Okay, so simply when glutamic acid gets replaced by valine, the protein which forms, that is abnormal protein. Okay, and this abnormal protein, it does not function normally, which leads to sickling, which leads to the formation of sickle shaped RBCs. हम वो डिस्कस करेंगे बाद में. ओके, अभी यहाँ पे देख लेंगे how this happens, how this glutamic acid replacement by valine takes place. Basically it occurs as a consequence of point mutation. Point mutation means when a single nucleotide base gets replaced by another nucleotide base. Actually ये normal gene है. Okay, and at this place of the gene here you have CTC. Okay, sometimes in some individuals it has been found that this T gets replaced by adenine, thymine gets replaced by adenine. Okay, so जो normal gene होता है, नॉर्मल जीन जो जब ट्रांसक्राइब होता है तो mRNA बनाता है, एंड दिस mRNA contains GAG at this place. Okay, it contains GAG codon, and that GAG codon codes for glutamic acid, which is the normal amino acid, and you have the normal protein functioning normally. Okay, but in some individuals which have a mutated version of this gene, okay, this nucleotide triplet in DNA, it will not transcribe into GAG. Instead it will form GUG in mRNA. Okay, and this GUG, it codes for the amino acid valine. It codes for amino acid valine, याद रखना. And because of the replacement of glutamic acid by valine, you have a mutant version of the protein, and this mutant version of the protein, it is abnormal. It does not function normally. Okay, actually what happens is the mutated version of the protein, it crystallizes in absence of oxygen. When there is a low oxygen concentration, the protein crystallizes, and because of its crystallization, the RBCs, they assume the shape of a sickle. They become sickle shaped. Okay, so some other important points that you will remember about the sickle cell disease. So now you know that it is a genetic disorder, but you have to remember that it is an autosomal recessive disorder in which the affected individual produces an altered form of the protein hemoglobin, which carries oxygen within the red blood cells. Okay, so this is an autosomal recessive disorder. Autosomal recessive disorder means the gene which is responsible for this disorder, it lies on the autosomes. Okay, and it is recessive, which means that for this phenotype to express in an individual, for an individual to become affected, it should have both the alleles which are HBS. Okay, that means it should have both the alleles mutated. अगर एक allele mutated होगा, दूसरा normal होगा, तो effect नहीं दिखाएगा. Okay, and most people, they carry the normal HBA allele and make hemoglobin A, which is normal hemoglobin. Individuals which are affected with sickle cell disease, they possess SBS genotype. That means both their alleles are mutated and produce only hemoglobin S. Okay, they produce abnormal hemoglobin, and this abnormal hemoglobin, it makes the RBCs sickle shaped. Now how this mutation affects, how this gene affects the organism in multiple ways. Okay, how this gene affects the multiple traits. The first trait is the abnormal hemoglobin. It causes the red blood cells to deform into sickle shape under conditions of लो ऑक्सीजन कंसंट्रेशन. इसका मतलब ये है जो आरबीसीज होती है जो नॉर्मली स्फेरिकल होती है, दे become deformed and form and assume the shape of a sickle. This is the first manifestation. This is the first phenotypic trait that this abnormal, that this mutated allele controls. The second is the sickling phenomenon causes the lifespan of these cells to be greatly shortened to only a few weeks compared with a normal lifespan of 4 months, resulting in anemia. The second thing is, second phenotypic trait that this allele controls is anemia. Okay, normally the lifespan of RBCs is 4 months, but those cells which are sickle shaped, their lifespan gets reduced. It gets shortened to only a few weeks, and because of this reduction in the lifespan of RBCs, the patient feels anemia. Okay, this is the second manifestation. The third is, in addition to this, the abnormal sickle cells, they become clogged in the capillaries throughout the body, which leads to localized areas of oxygen depletion. Okay, and this in turn causes pain and sometimes tissue and organ damage. Okay, जो sickle shaped RBCs होती है, because of their sickle shape, they become clogged. They cause clogging in the arteries. Okay, capillaries, they cause clogging, and because of this clogging, some parts of the body, they are not able to receive the oxygen. They feel oxygen depletion, and because of this oxygen depletion, they experience severe pain, and sometimes their tissues and organs get damaged. Okay, and one more manifestation of this mutation is the spleen of those patients, it becomes enlarged because of accumulated RBCs which are sickle shaped. And finally, it has been found that the individuals which suffer from this disease, their lifespan is shortened as compared to the normal individual which possesses the normal hemoglobin protein. Okay, तो याद रखिएगा, जो इंडिविजुअल ऐसा होगा, I mean जिसका जीनोटाइप ऐसा होगा, HBS which are homozygous for this gene, their life expectancy is drastically reduced. Okay, they live for a short span of time. Okay? So this is all about the sickle cell disease and how this sickle cell disease fits well with pleiotropy. Okay, I hope you all understand this. See you soon with a new lesson. Till then, stay blessed.